welcome everybody to our X39 launch tonight. I am so excited for everybody to be here. My name is Stacy Saldariaga, and I am blessed enough to be able to share probably one of the most innovative technologies that has the power to completely transform your life in so many ways, and that is not an overstatement. Just a little backstory on who I am and how I kind of fell into this. Probably about 15 years ago, I started having autoimmune issues. And I would go to the doctor and they would say, we can't figure out what's wrong with you. It's just like something that's going on in your body. And they would try to, have me change certain things, and we could never figure out what was the root cause. And so I sort of like went on this deep dive down into the rabbit hole of trying to figure out like what causes dis-ease in our body, right? What is it that makes us feel sick or present with different issues? Why are people getting more and more sick these days? And this was 15 years ago. So of course I started on the whole organic, non-GMO, super filtered water. Those were like the easiest things, right? The products that you're putting onto your body, like those were the first steps. As I sort of like went through the years and learned more and more about it, little changes in diet, supplementation, you name it, I've tried it as far as like what is in the biohacking space, because it's not even so much about like looking younger as it is about feeling younger, right? I want to be the 85-year-old grandma that is like able to play with her grandkids and grandkids, right? I want to feel good. I don't want to just live long, but I want to feel good doing it. So I try to investigate and research, and I'm like a total nerd when it comes to that stuff, to find out like how we can best treat our bodies. And so for years, I've been doing phototherapy. I've been going to infrared beds and, for all the immune boosting properties, photo facials, things like that. And so when I heard about this patch, I'm not going to lie, at first I was skeptical. I was like, how can this little tiny patch right here, this little quarter-sized patch, how can that possibly do all the things that it was supposed to do? So I decided I was going to do a little deep dive and really investigate and research and see how it was possible. And what I have learned has blown me away. I've now been using the X39 patch, which is what we're talking about tonight, for I keep losing track, but I think it's been about 10 weeks now. And it's gone so far, it's gone well beyond what I ever expected. And we'll get into that in a little bit later. But I'm going to get started, kick off our slideshow here. And here we go. All right. So welcome to LifeWave X39. That is what you're here listening to tonight. Somebody has shared this video with you, or someone has shared this meeting with you because they think, one, that you could benefit from this incredible technology, or two, you might be interested in taking a look at what this business is doing, because there's an incredible opportunity there as well. All right. Have you been patched? Okay, these little patches that we're talking about tonight are designed to elevate, activate, and regenerate. Okay, and what that means is they're designed to elevate a certain peptide in your body that in turn activates your own body's stem cells to start regenerating, and they go to work working on all the things in your body that's not working correctly. All right, so who came up with this, right? Where did this little patch come from? This is probably one of the most interesting and exciting parts about this whole business, because unlike other products that are out there, especially in the multi-level marketing space or the network marketing space, this product was designed well before David Schmidt knew how he was going to bring it to the masses. And so, little funny story, David Schmidt right here, he is the CEO and inventor of X39, among many other things. He actually holds over 180 patents, and 70 of those are in regenerative science. So he's always been really focused on, he started his, right after college, he started his career in cancer research on neuroblastomas. And then it just like, like everybody else's careers, it just sort of snowballed. One thing led to another. And in the early 2000s, he was contracted by the US Navy to help with their one-man submarine. So he was working on a project to figure out how could they get these one-man submarines to be able to go, deep in the ocean or wherever they are and last longer? How do we keep them oxygenated? And so he was working on survival equipment for these one-man submarines. And somewhere along the way in working on this, which he was successful at, he started thinking, okay, this is really great for the submarine, but what about the Navy SEALs that are manning these submarines, or the guys that are running these submarines? They're down there for 30 to 60 hours and they're not seeing any sunlight. Those kind of, the energy is not being triggered by that. They're tired. They are taking, amphetamines and caffeine and all these things to try to stay awake down there. What if I could somehow tap into their bodies and get their own bodies to increase the oxygen, which is then going to give them more energy? So he started thinking about it, and he came up with the very first prototype of the LifeWave patch, and it's called the energy patch. And that is what he kind of came up with the Navy SEALs. Well, then that was right before September 11th. And then September 11th happened, and the military was more interested in weapons and everything going on and less interested in figuring out survival equipment and how to make it last longer. So he kind of went off on his own and started really thinking about this technology and thought, gosh, if I can trigger the body to make more oxygen, what else can I do? So the first energy patch was launched in 2004, I believe. And I think it's a really cool story. The first place that they were actually tested was with a 6-time US Olympic swim coach who was working at Stanford at the time. And so David brought these patches to his swim team, and they put them on 8 of the women on the Stanford swim team. And 6 out of 8 of these women had their personal best all-time record within 3 weeks of using these energy patches. So then they went on to the Olympics in 2004, and the patches were in the Olympics on the swim team, and it caused kind of a scandal because people were like, what are you putting on these athletes, right? How are they doing so well? What is that they're wearing? The patches had to go to like UCLA to be completely researched, and they were found to be like, obviously they don't have any like hormones or steroids or anything in them. So he was able to continue on using them. And basically that's kind of where the business was launched. I mean, word of mouth spread. All of a sudden people were like, we want these patches. Can we carry them? Can we sell them? What can we do? And so he really started thinking, okay, what I am learning after, working on this energy patch for years and talking to doctors and talking to acupuncturists and chiropractors, and, getting them to use it in small scale in their practices, the fastest way that this has grown for me is word of mouth. So that's how it turned into like the network marketing model. He realized that what better way to share a product like this that, sitting on the shelf, right, doesn't look like a whole lot. If it's in like Walmart or Walgreens or GNC or something like that. But the fact that people could share their own personal experiences with it, it just made sense, right? So that's when the company was first launched. Fast forward to 2008, and he really started focusing on regenerative science because stem cells became like a really big thing. And if you guys aren't aware of stem cells yet, we're going to talk about that in a second. But he really started to focus on that particular part because he's like, same as me, right? What can we do to our bodies? Why can't we, if we can harvest oxygen and we can harvest energy, why can't we do other things? And so he started to really think about like all the different photobiomodulation processes that he could trigger. All right. Before we get into the X39, I do want to say that it took probably from 2008 until 2019 when it was launched. So like 10 years, $4.5 million to bring this particular patch to market. There are other patches in the company, but the X39 has been a total game changer for everything that it does. And since it's been launched, the company has just completely like skyrocketed. All right, the X39, David has many patents, like I said, but the particular patent of the X39 is really interesting because it literally means that there's nothing else out there on the market. There might be other patches that claim to do X, Y, and Z, or that they might have like hormones in them. I know there's some hormone patches and all of that, but there is absolutely nothing that can do exactly what this patch does. And he holds several patents just for the X39. And in this particular patent, if you guys know anything about US patents, elevating copper peptides mentioned a ton of times, 64 times GHK copper peptides mentioned, 14 times stem cells are mentioned. And so the patent basically is kind of like a stamp of approval saying like, yes, like this is legit, it's real, and this is, you know, we've looked at the studies and yes, you can have your patent. Okay, so why are stem cells so important? Well, if you're not aware, stem cells are like the very first cell that happens that literally can turn into any other cell in your body. So a stem cell can turn into brain cells, heart cells, muscle cells, and kidney cells, any kind of cell in the body. And we all are born with a ton of stem cells, but what happens as we age is they kind of get a little used up and they start to go dormant. So the fewer stem cells that you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal, which is why you will notice that, you know, someone in their 60s gets a cut on their finger or they twist their ankle, they take a lot longer to heal than, say, you know, a teenager. Excuse me. Okay, so obviously we're all experiencing symptoms of aging. Hundreds of millions of people are. You know what that looks like, right? Our bones start to creak a little more. We start to have like that, like those aches and pains. Skin starts to sag. We start getting like, you know, lab reports that aren't always wonderful. So we're all experiencing that. And at the age of 30, only half your stem cells are active. And at the age of 60, almost all your stem cells have gone dormant. So that's why stem cell therapy has become such a hot button, because if you can introduce new cells that start regenerating, you can really kind of rewind the aging process that's going on the inside. So how does this little thing work right here, right? How does this little sticker work? Well, it is a proprietary form of phototherapy. So we all as humans emit light. That's why, you know, if you go hunting and you're looking for animals through night vision goggles, you can see them because they emit light. Same with humans. We all emit light in the form of infrared. And so what this patch does, it has a little tiny nanocrystal structure, lattice structure in there that is designed to reflect the light specifically at a very unique wavelength that triggers our copper peptide. It's called GHK copper peptide. And that copper peptide has been widely researched on all the benefits that it has, specifically triggering stem cells to regenerate. But what I like about this, because I am, you know, as holistic as possible. I mean, obviously I believe in Eastern and Western medicine. If I, you know, cut my finger off, I'm going to go to the doctor. But I do try to do things in kind of a more functional way, looking at like the whole system, right? So I try not to use anything excess as far as like pharmaceuticals and things like that in my body. So what I love about this is that it's totally non-transdermal, has no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants, totally non-invasive. You simply stick it on and it acts like a reflector. That's it. All right, so let's talk about the benefits. What is this patch going to do for you, right? Yeah, it stimulates stem cells. Yeah, it, you know, it starts regenerating different parts of your body, but what does that really mean? First, I'm going to say my disclaimer because that's the world that we live in, right? LifeWave products are not intended to cure, diagnose, or treat any sort of illness or condition. However, anecdotally, we have a lot of testimonials of people that have been using them and what they're experiencing. But most off the bat, this is what people notice wearing the X39. They see increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, energy and vitality, mental clarity, restored muscle condition, improvement in sleep, and improvement in skin appearance. All right, so what happens with X39 over the long run, right? So I said I've been using X39 for 10 weeks and I don't have any major comorbidities or anything that like I really need to address. But when I got into my mid 40s, I started feeling like just not myself, right? I started feeling like sluggish, tired all the time. My energy waned, especially in the afternoons. Like I was always reaching for a cup of coffee at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, or I found myself wanting to like sit down on the couch and relax, which was not me. Like I'm an active person. And I just started to have less energy to play with my 8-year-old daughter. And I just didn't like it. And that was just one of the things. Like there were all kinds of other things going on with my body that I'm like, this perimenopausal, menopausal, whatever it is, like that so many of us experience, it really was bugging me. And I tried every single supplement and every single cream and potion and all the things, right, to try to fix myself. Went to the doctor, everything checks out normally, of course, and but you know your own body. So what I experienced so far was that my energy has been incredible. Like I no longer reach, I don't even want coffee in the afternoon. It's super weird. And then, I'm sleeping more deeply. I'm waking up refreshed before my alarm rings. Every single morning I wake up before my alarm rings, but I feel good. I'm not like, oh, I'm tired. Like I feel amazing. I have lost very stubborn weight that I've been trying every which way to lose for the last 2 years. I have lost those pounds in the last 10 weeks. I'm back down to my weight from, 5 years ago. And I think a lot of it was inflammation and a lot of it was water retention. I have a particular problem with water retention where I swell, my ankles swell, my face swells, my fingers swell, my rings get tight. And it's been something that like I've had for the last year or so really bad. And all of that has gone away. Everything's fitting looser. And I really believe it's because the inflammation and water retention has been gone. But what can you expect over the long term, right? Those are like the immediate results that we're seeing. Over the long term, you're going to see all kinds of health benefits for this. So in the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset, right? The stem cells go to work, your genes are beginning to like reset and start working. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes more balanced, and that's where you're going to notice just a clearer head, less brain fog. So many of my friends have been saying it's so weird. Like I've been able to get so much done. Like like one of my friends the other day, she's like, I have been putting off my QuickBooks for our company for months and months because I just couldn't focus on it. And I've been procrastinating it. And she's like, I sat down the other day and knocked through all of them. And I know it's because of the patch. Like I was just able to focus. And my husband says that a lot too. He's got a lot of things on his mind. He runs a lot of different businesses, and he's noticed right off the bat that he was just able to focus clear. And it's like your brain's working faster or something. I don't know how to explain it. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. So that's a benefit for those of us that, want to look a little more youthful and fresh. I have a lot of people that have told me that, the varicose veins in their legs and their ankles have like completely reduced and lightened. I have people that are saying that, oh my gosh, there are stories of people that their hair is like coming in fuller and thicker. And then there's even people that are reporting that their gray hair is actually like the gray hairs like are coming out of the root dark again. So there's some really unique stories. And what's been so interesting about this is that every single person has a different testimony. And so you never know what it's going to do inside you. You just know that it's doing really good stuff. So within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. Also, I didn't say, like these results that I'm sharing with you right now are all from our 80 plus clinical studies, peer-reviewed, public, double-blind studies that have been done on X39 specifically. And so these are the clinical results from the study. So within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. Your vascular age reduces by 8 years, an average of 8 years. So we're talking everything in your body is really getting, it's not even anti-aging, right? Because anti-aging is slowing the aging process. This is truly age reversing. Your body is able to be younger again on the inside. So there's tons of testimonies. I already shared a few of them with you guys. But if you want to look at more, there's a website that we share with people. It's called thisisit.info.com. And it has all kinds of testimonies. You can see things on like, oh my gosh, people are going to their eye doctor and their prescription needs to be changed because their vision has improved. Sleep, bladder, spine issues, sciatica, all kinds of testimonials from people that have been using this over the last few years. This is a fun thing to show. This is just one report from one of the studies. There were several subjects in this study, but I just grabbed this one really quick. And this is a brain scan of a 77-year-old woman who is wearing X39. The first session is session one, she didn't have the patch at all. And so you can see that the inflammation in red in her brain, and she did like a coherence test. Like they did several diagnostic tests. They did like mental tests, and then they did, brain scans. So this was her first session, okay? Her second session, you can see the improvement. All the red is gone. And this was 3 weeks on the X39. She had no more inflammation and she had better coherence on her tests. And then at 6 weeks, same thing, much less inflammation, a complete turnaround. Her coherence was better. And so you can see right here in the scan what it has done for her. All right, so how do you wear the patch? Like I said at the beginning of this call, I have done so many different supplements and things and usually I'll get really pumped up and really excited. I'm sure you guys have done it too, or you've tried like a new diet or you've tried a new routine and you're really excited the first, couple weeks. And then somehow those supplement bottles or whatever it is that you're doing sort of ends up in the background, right? To the back of the cupboard, or you start slacking off on it. Because it's just human nature. It's really hard to introduce a new habit. This is the easiest thing I've ever done. I put this on. So you guys, you wear the patch. It's a little sticker. So you just peel off the back and you stick it on and you wear it either at the back of your neck or you wear it 2 inches below your belly button. It is a systemic patch. You can put it anywhere. So if you do have a particular issue, if your elbow's bothering you or your knee, or, some of my friends have, some GI issues. You can put the patch wherever and it works the same. But the reason that we suggest back here and below the belly is because it's the easiest, that has the less movement and friction in your body. So it's not like brushing up against something all the time. And it's also because that's where those are the 2 acupressure points that were tested in our clinical studies, because a lot of this has to do with the acupressure points. A lot of the other patches that LifeWave offers, prior to this, they're based on specific acupressure points. So these are the 2 spots that you wear. It's super easy. You put it on in the morning. I keep it right by my toothbrush. I put it on when I brush my teeth in the morning, and then I just take it off and throw it away at night. And then you put a new one on the next day. They are waterproof. They do stick on. You would be surprised. People are like, I don't know, I'm really sweaty in the summer and this and that. No, they're really sticky and they do pretty good. All right, so I want to share a little bit about the company. I talked to you about David Schmidt, the CEO and founder, but I want to express to you guys how unique of a moment this is for this particular company. It is a global company. It has been around 20 years. So they definitely have things well dialed in. They're in 82 countries worldwide. And what is really amazing is that they are just now hitting momentum. Okay. When the energy patch, that first patch that was found, that, went through the Olympics and all the athletes and everything, the first year that they launched that, they did $17 million, which is really big when you consider that there's only a few people that are kind of spreading the word about it. They did about 20 to 25 million every year until 2021, when this X39 was launched. Okay. When X39 was launched, the company skyrocketed to 320 million by 2022, and then 430 million last year. That's showing you right there that this patch has been spreading like wildfire. But what's really cool is only 100 million of that is in the US. Most of it is in Asia. And I find that really interesting because of the whole Eastern Western medicine. Like Eastern medicine really does utilize a lot of things like acupuncture, acupressure, different holistic technologies. And so they've really latched onto this. But for us over here, it means it's a really great business opportunity because there is so much potential to grow. And mark my words, this will be something that everybody knows about within the next 3 to 5 years. Like I truly believe everybody's going to be using this. Another reason that this is such a great opportunity for us is because it is patented, and it's not a Me Too product. So, I have a lot of friends that are selling things like, skincare and healthcare and oils and supplements and all the things, right? Which is fantastic. I love all those products. I buy them. But I have so many friends doing it that sometimes I have to buy like a little from this person and a little from that person because all my friends are doing it. This is something that is so unique. Nobody else has it. And I've been in a company before that was like this, where I got in and nobody else had a similar product on the market. And we really got to ride the momentum. And it was a very, very successful venture. All right, so why partner with us? We just explained that, and we're in peak momentum. We're room for growth. We're patented technology, no competition. It's a product that truly everybody needs. So it's not just geared towards women or men or athletes or health and fitness people. It's something that everybody can use. All right, so how do we get started, right? If you're on this call and you're like, all right, this sounds cool. I want to take a look at this. I want to learn some more. I'm ready for it. There's 3 different ways to purchase these patches right here, okay? And they come in a sleeve like this. This is called a sleeve. It has a smaller sleeve inside, and the patches are in here, and they come 30 per sleeve. So it's a month's worth of patches per sleeve. And you can purchase packages, different packages depending on your needs, right? So the first package is the silver package, and that is $299, and you get 3 sleeves of X39. Okay, you get and you get a link to share once you start sharing, because I can promise you that as soon as you start seeing the benefits of this, you're going to want to tell your friends and family. You probably are already thinking of people in your life that need this or that, that are suffering from this aches and pains and this, these health issues that you want to try to help them with. So it is a very easy product to share. My dog is locked up and she's howling herself. Okay, the second package is the gold package, and that is for somebody who's like, usually it's a couple, right? 2 people, and they are like a husband and wife or partners, and they're like, we both need this, and I have people in mind that I really want to share this with, and so and they're like, I see the potential of this business, I want to get started. That is the gold pack. It's $500. You get 5 months worth of your X39, and then you get a free extra patch. So you can pick one of the energy patches. We have an energy patch, a sleep patch, a skin patch, different patches for different things, and that can be tailored specific to your needs. But that is the gold pack. And then the diamond pack is for like the serious business builder who's like, okay, I really see the potential in this business. I really see, I get that it's in momentum. I get that I understand this industry. I want my hands on all those because I want everyone to try it in my life. That's what I did. I actually started on gold, and then within 2 days, I upgraded to diamond because I wanted to get these patches on people so that I could get their testimonies. And that's also why I have so many personal testimonies, right? Like it's one thing when you see on the internet that somebody had this experience or that experience, but when it's your best friend or it's your mom or your sister or your cousin telling you, calling you and saying, oh my gosh, and this is the funniest thing. They usually say, do you think it's the patch? But blah, 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 blah. And then by the 3rd time they say that, I'm like, okay, come on now. Of course it's the patch. But it's really hard to wrap your head around it. And I did the same thing when I first started. I would look at my husband and say, okay, this is going on. Could it be the patch? Because it's so cool what you start to experience. So those are the 3 packs. We do have a customer option too. And for customers, the Sleeves are $99. Okay, so it's $99 a month on a subscription. So you get set up on a subscribe and save program where your patches get shipped to you every single month for $99, and you can just use it and experience the benefits as a customer. I do have a lot of people that have signed up as customers who are already calling me and saying, you know, my friend wants it, my coworker wants it. And so they are changing to become partners because they're like, I might as well be, you know, earning a little bit of commission instead of sending that to you. So there are different packages for different people. We do say, so the thing with the X39 is in our clinical studies, 80% of people experience significant like health results within 2 hours, 2 weeks to 2 months. That's 80% of people. But in our studies, 96% of people within 3 months had significant results. So if you want to just like lock it in and know, I'm going to try this, we suggest you try it for 3 months. You give it a full 3 months and see all the benefits that start to come out. And that's why the silver pack is a great way to start, because you can get all 3 months and you only pay shipping one time instead of paying for it monthly. But whatever option you want, you guys, I really don't care. I just want everybody using this. Like, I'm shouting it from the rooftops, and I have everybody in my life on it now, because it's just like everywhere I go, somebody's complaining about this ailment or that ailment, and I can't sleep at night. And I mean, the list goes on. And so to be able to offer people an option that they pretty quickly see a result in, it's been really fulfilling and really meaningful. And I'm just super excited to be in this business. So if you have been invited to this call by a friend or family member, make sure you get in touch with them and you can talk more about like how to get access to these patches. Every single option comes with a 30-day money back guarantee. So you can try them for 29 days and be like, yeah, you know, I don't want to keep going. Haven't had anybody do that yet because everybody's loved them so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. I hope you all get on X39 because you will not be sorry. It is worth every penny. The quality of life that you experience as your body really starts to adjust to it, it's pretty incredible. So thank you for joining, and I hope to hear from all of you on your own personal testimony.